I have certain requirements. That is not same for anybody else.
Absolutely.
So, if I have a place, I need certain things, okay? And its cleanliness, its environment, its everything. And I figured it out. The smaller the place, it's better for me because I don't want to spend energy to take care of a place which is bigger than I need.
Cleaning karo, ye karo.
And maintaining. And when it comes to decoration, I feel that the emptiness is the best decoration for me.
Absolutely.
I don't want to have any picture so that I have to select. I don't want to set up this, set up that. I don't want that. And I don't like to sleep in bed, in floor. I need a bed. Okay? Preferably 1.5 size of mine. Like not a small bed, not a very big bed. Something like that. So and one room, one bedroom, and a kitchen. I don't need any living room also. If it is there, it is there. So something like that. That doesn't mean that somebody who is more attentive, has a lot of energy, can take care of 4 rooms equally well. So they can have 4 rooms if they have capacity. I don't want to spend that kind of time. So in that way, everything is very specific.
Yes, absolutely. Very important.
Very important, I have certain requirements, like I'm not very, like my visual perception doesn't get disturbed if there is instead of chair there, if chair is here. Some people they do. It doesn't bother me that much. So that care is not there for me, So it doesn't matter to me. For some other people, even if the small thing is different, they physically feel it. They have to go and repair it. So each one is different, For me, it's like if there is something dusty, that bothers me. I have to pick up something to clean it. Each one has their own idiosyncrasies of their own living, So like that, there are various things, What kind of environment I need, what kind of people I would like to spend time with. All these are very specific.
Absolutely.
And I'm not forcing anybody to consider my specificity is the best one. I never say that. This is how it's my construction, the way I grew up, something remained, what I call these idiosyncrasies of the living conditioning. Nobody is free from that, no matter what they say. There is no such thing as Kora Kagaj. These are ideas, like our ideal gas. There is no ideal gas, all are real gas. This is what, and that's that. Okay? So, you can't come to my room and tell that you should have this picture. Because I'm not going to go to your room and tell what you should have or what you shouldn't have. I won't interfere. Similarly, I won't allow anybody to interfere in my space. And that is what I call is functional freedom. You understand? And that is very specifically designed by my conditioning, which I cannot help it anymore, and my genetic makeup.
Plus whatever you need is
certain sensitivity is my genetic makeup, and I don't fight it, I accept it as it is imposed on me by nature. And I have no choice about it. I will not cry for it. I will do everything to see how with that I can function optimally. That's all. And that's very specific to me. And since I know this from deep down in my understanding of life, is it the best? No, I'm not saying that, because it's very applicable to me. And therefore, that is what I will do everything to maintain that balance with myself, with nature, with my surroundings. It's as simple as that. Can I always do that? No.
Yes.
I accept the reality. Like if I have to go to a place, I have a very specific purpose, which sometimes I don't even know why I am attracted to a particular place that I am going. Probably things reveals itself as the time goes. But I do go, and then I have to compromise. If I am attracted to that place, I have to go there. Now if I decided that I am not going to a place which is higher than 25 degrees centigrade, okay, I have to compromise. Since I was attracted to that place, I have to go and see, even though it's more than 25, I'll see how I can manage. I compromise according to the situation. So it's not that the life is completely, you cannot compromise anything. I do with this situation. I ended up in a train where there is no other choice but to stand in a corner. What choice do I have?
No choice.
I'm in India, surrounded by people. What choice do I have? So I don't think about it. It's done. It's the what is what I ought to accept the reality, as they say, the reality that is imposed on me, and I have no way out of that situation. So I deal with that as much as I can.
The balance.
That's the balance. I will not spend time by thinking that what if it is not. It is right now. I deal with it. What situation I will face next, I don't know. So,
For me,
do I need a
criteria.
place where... Yeah, you're telling something?
Yeah, for me there's one criteria now. That focus, I need to maintain and keep. Don't want to disturb that at all. So, whatever is best for that, I have to work towards that.
Okay.
So my question with you is paramount and most important now.
What?
My question with you is paramount and most important now.
Okay.
As you said, optimally.
Yeah, so you see, the nature functions in a way. What is important is, I figured it out, but it is not what I think what is important. What turns out to be the most natural is that we really do not know the state of affairs, including the state of mental disposition, which always I feel is the most stable one when your physicality is very optimally balanced. You know. So what would be in that, there is a what is called is the dynamics of change. There is no such thing as eternal.
Absolutely.
The incident that happens can be eternal, like I have a daughter, I have a particular father. That father remains eternal for me.
Yeah.
What would be my physical balance as far as that father is concerned is dynamic, depending on my need, depending on my physical requirements, depending on the situation that I find myself in. All these are dynamic changes. So these dynamic equilibriums are so deeply mysterious and intricate that one cannot fathom at any moment what the dynamic balance would be, and accordingly the state of mind would be in coming days. One doesn't know. I found it very surprisingly different. I give you a small example. There was a time when it was unthinkable for me to lose someone what I was so involved with. It's like you don't think about when you have a baby, what will happen if it is not there. You don't think, these are not the criterion, you know. But what I'm saying is that you can't imagine, okay? So, like that, there was a time when I couldn't think. And eventually, that came to pass. What I discovered is so abnormally different from what I ever thought, was that my state of mind, which functions on memory and previous ideas, always, because there is always competition, it got defeated by my physical power. I was down and out, and I was in constant pain. Basically what you call is grieving, you know. There is something that one discovers, it's out of one's hand. So, but who is suffering? It's my physical body. And I realize it's refusing. And when the battle was over, there was not even iota of feeling bad, which is so never ever I imagined that that's even possible. There is no shade of that sadness, badness, and sinking down. It's just like miraculously the body rejected all of it and revitalized me as if it's a childhood toy which I have no attachment anymore. Maybe at that time I couldn't live without it. It's not my idea. It is something that's so powerful within. That is what my greatest mysterious discovery. It just worked itself out because it was rejected by the system to be down for such a long time. It was not even long time, maybe 72 hours. Done. Never ever I even felt any grieving or anything. There is a shadow of, in fact, feeling good that I had gone through such a thing, exalting. But there was no sadness, there is no sorrow. It just said goodbye then. If there is a tear, it is a shadow of those past, but it does not mean that I am hurting. It's difficult to explain. So, that's why I'm telling you. It's contextual, what I'm saying. You wouldn't know.
At that time, what
What?
was going to react?
Because the mental state, which will be, as I am telling, mental state is not going to govern the physical conditioning. That is what I call is counter to the natural behavior. That is what the religiosity wants. Nature doesn't permit such a thing. It is an imposition. It is the greatest fascist move by the organized religion to introduce an interloper and hijack the physical conditioning, which is antithesis to the natural freedom that exists according to the function of each and every form of life. We are no exception. So, just the way this body wants to live without fear, without pain, without suffering. That is in all dimensions. So, that sorrow, if it is deep, is something that rejects the body. I realize that. And people get addicted to that sorrow. Tagore was suffering from that. Melancholy. I don't feel anything. Neither do I feel any love, honestly. I can't help it. I mean, it will sound funny, but I did not lose the ability to conjure up image. I can. If I say that my image making faculty is so collapsed that I can imagine anything, I'm lying through my teeth. I don't do that. I don't need to. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to create an image about myself which will align the jurisdictions of the great and the exalted ones. I don't believe in such a thing. That was my promise to the man. I want to say the way things are. Give me the courage. Nothing else I need. I don't have to prove anybody what state I am in. I don't believe in that such shit. Okay? So, if they say, oh, you know, you just said if you are in natural state, you can't do that. I say, I don't believe in natural state. That's why I do that. I don't want to struggle myself to prove something to others. So I'm still caught up with the social slavery of the images that is left behind. I told your description of natural state, honestly, if somebody wants to follow it, it will be the worse than Advaita Vedanta following. He says, I'm describing my natural state. He said, people will think that they are in natural state by copying you. So if somebody says, I'm also natural state, you love somebody, I said, fuck you, I love his natural state, not yours. Not all natural states are the same. You want to generalize, it's the same state. There is no generalization. Life is uniquely disposed in each and every quarter. So, why should I compromise? So it is the same thing. I want to be a perfect Rolls Royce. That is the number one enemy to the freedom of this organism. The role model. You understand? The easiest way to capture one. And freedom from that is the most difficult thing. You realize that's the whole knowledge. Freedom from the known means everything that you know is the one that is constantly putting bondage in your image making system. It's not a matter, you discover that in yourself. Why am I not doing this? If it is not allowed by the society, I will be end up in jail. I wouldn't do that. But something that is allowed and yet I am not doing, just in my head there is a fucking image that what people will think, and that's why I am struggling. See, I'll give you an example. I was silly, with UG, and I have a wife, I have children. They're telling, if your dad is going into bananas. Now, if I want to keep an image of a proper daddy, personality, as everybody, the society that I grow up like that, I cannot do the silly thing. But my inside wants to do those silly things. What is important to me? I decided, fuck everything. I'm not going to be enslaved by what my daughter thinks about me. That's social slavery. I will work hard to keep that image going in her. One day she will realize that she is also a victim of similar things. I'm not going to do anything. If you have an image, like people have image about me, what? Well, because you are a bhakta, so you have an image of a proper devotee. So the devoted one should have an image, To the devotee's mind, should have an image. He cannot be silly Billy. He should be Gambhir Yoga Rishi. Maharshi Maharaja, blah 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 blah. Then only you get social status. Who are you? I am the disciple of Om Sri Sri Shitashtarananda. So you see the line of commands at the end of it is clearly written slavery, social slavery. Everybody faces such a thing. So that's why I'm telling. So it is not easy. Every step of the way you will feel it. If it is not allowed, suddenly if I want to jump on my wife on the street bench, I cannot because they are going to take me in this and this. I'm not going to do that. What I'm saying is,
true.
I'm creating an impact by saying this because that's what we are. I'm also not going to do that. I felt like so happy that toss my pants and run in the desert, That's what I felt. I can't do that because it's a society which is forbidden. So these are the. Then I said, other than that, there is nothing stops me.
True.
Other than what is not approved by the society, I can just have silly billy romantic relationship with anybody. I don't give a shit what people think. I do. And that creates problem. Not for me. It creates a number. I don't have any investment. So if you run an organization, you cannot exercise this kind of thing. You somehow, inside the fact that you have organization, you have to promise a delivery. And I know there is nothing to deliver. And with that, I can never make one. The first and foremost internal disposition of making an organized anything is give and take. What is it standing for, right? Without an agenda, can you make an organization? Let's all meet together. For what? Let's do something together. What?
Our plan will come out.
The plan will already be on the basis of an idea that someone strong who has.
Yeah, the leader and the led, then the exploitation.
It starts and then three led are fighting with each other to convince the leader, to show off the leader their left, their right. All unreal, you know what I mean? It's all very specifically designed for a, what I call is intentional based movement. There is no freedom in such a thing. You are still tied up by the social dynamics that is still left behind a huge garbage inside you, and you are operated by that. It's very difficult, you know. I mean, if I want to keep an image about myself, to see that my bhakta has some respect. I am bhakta's slave. That's what they say. It is so clever. I mean, everything is designed to a status quo which is antithesis to the organized form of life and its natural expression. So they will say, we are social animal. One of our natural expression is forming society, which is true. But what kind of irresponsible, immoral, unethical behavior that I show that you can prove that I am not a social animal? Should I? In fact, it's the other way around. If I am not bothered about those things, I don't do the immoral thing. I don't do unethical thing because it's not required. I don't have any particular agenda. Neither do I criticize somebody. If somebody steals something, I don't criticize it. Maybe he deserves to steal. Only I'll tell that, look, buddy, next time don't get caught. Everybody steals.
Yeah.
Somebody created and designed a society where they will get away by killing. Like Trump didn't pay tax. If you and I don't pay tax, we end up in the guest of His Highness. Actually, that is partly a fear that operates in people's mind also. This is a social example, I always find it very funny that the conflict of the dynamics of the social jurisdiction is so conflicting. For example, you have a highest regard for a religion. Most people, these Hindus and all, they consider the sages and the saints are the greatest individual, And why? Because they gave up everything, they pursue God, they achieve something, whatever they are claiming, and we all are enamored by that, okay? So, but if in such a household, which has highest regard for such a thing, if there is a sign of anybody behaving anything near that, there is a panic. I don't understand that. Isn't it? Anybody, say you have this highest regard for Ramana Maharshi, if somebody, the person who has the highest regard for Ramana Maharshi, he suddenly discovered this, his son has no mind in either studies or anything, always God, God, God बोलता है, इधर उधर जाता है, उस डॉक्टर को बस ले जाएगा. Such में. So, you see how fundamentally conflicting the whole thing is? Something that you consider as the highest, the greatest, the most respected, the revered. And if somebody gets affected by such a thing and take one step, you are bloody murderous. Well, what I am saying is, I am not telling anything is right or wrong, but I am just pointing out the dynamics that exist, which is so conflicting.
Yes.
And many of our activities are like that. We have kind of funny various ideas of these things. At different space and time, these things are very funny. The thing is that I don't encourage anybody. If somebody wants to earn money, I encourage them by all means. The talent is there to earn money. So either I don't encourage anything in any way. You know. All I understood that there is a purpose of this dynamics of this social influence, and each and every individual is under the influence of this social dynamics. So they also develop something in them to deal with this, which is what we ended up in using it to survive in this social structure, which is what our ability to cope with everything, the talent, the resilience, the drive, everything is out of this social dynamics. And that tool has to be used to overcome the social dynamics. There is no other tool. But that cannot be used to bring about an equilibrium that your system may require. That's the fundamental problem. It doesn't require to become any devotees or anything. Neither it wants to find any God. It's just human creation out of this social dynamics. Everything that we have concept about is created out of this social dynamics. Is there anything that you can do about it? Doing is in the realm of thinking.